Constructed so poorly, their 4-year-old daughter has since helped tear it down. But as Jackie Quist reports, the builder at the centre of the row maintains his workmanship would have stood the test of time.
Oh, there it goes. Major problems would involve footings, stumps, bearers, blockwork, steel.
So what happened to your Tuscan dream?
Yeah, I seem to think that the Tuscans turn more to Bosnian. We've got more of the refugee bombed-out building look. Unbelievable.
Paul Steele says even 4-year-old Georgia can push this house down. Paul and wife Sonia say they've had to completely demolish their brand new Tuscan-style villa thanks to shoddy workmanship and dodgy construction.
I guess we had concerns about 6 weeks into construction. We were only at base brickwork stage, the floor that we see behind us and the slab below.
Last year, the Steeles videotaped their new home being built, in the process becoming more and more concerned about builder Brian King's construction prowess.
So we took what we thought was a sensible precaution at the time. We engaged the building inspector outside the mandatory inspections to more or less monitor on a twice-weekly basis or what have you, to come down and just check on the builder, and if there was a problem to communicate with us, to let us know.
And did he do that check twice a week?
He invoiced us for the visits, something of a total of about 11 visits, and during the time that steel was going up and most of the major framing was happening, nothing was mentioned in specific terms about a problem. The builder kept on going. We kept paying our progress payments as per the contract.
Gaps of 20 mil at least. You put your fingers through them.
The house was built to lock-up stage. By then, Brian King had been paid almost $130,000, and the building inspector had okayed the steel frame.
And even to a layperson, it looked terribly wrong by this stage. And he agreed that he would come back on the weekend and have a quick look around and form a list. And he did, in fact, form a 2-page list of defects and put it back on the builder, basically. Here we have a structural column, which is taking, rather than any weld around the outside, we have what looks to be a piece of timber inside, joining the 2 pieces, and that's it, no weld.
Paul says some steel beams weren't even welded together. Other welding jobs were half-hearted, and Paul was shocked at the brickwork, which was supposed to be supporting the floor. And Paul says some of the stumps are a joke.
Oh, look at that. And yeah, what's it sitting in? A couple of bricks.
Despite the builder's offer to rectify the problems, Paul and Sonia decided they had no option but to start again. Engineer John Fitzgerald agreed.
Given the problems with the superstructure, however, when these are combined with the additional problems of the foundations, I believe that the building ought to be demolished and reconstructed from the foundation stage.
So all I know is what we built. I know what stood there for 6 months without a problem, and I know what would have stood there till the day's eternity.
Builder Brian King.
I did some things wrong. I put my hand up like I did back 6 months ago. That what was wrong, I was more than prepared to rectify. And so I've done that for 20-odd years on all the projects I've done. I say, while my butt points to the ground, the place was never going to fall down.
Yeah, I honestly believe that he thinks that we've made a mountain out of a molehill, that he believes he's done an acceptable job under the circumstances, and we're being fussy and neurotic.
Are the Steeles being a bit neurotic about this?
Well, I didn't say that. But,
I don't think we're being neurotic at all. We're acting as responsible people. This is an unsafe house, and I think the only way to solve our problem is to start again.
He didn't have to pull it down, right? The areas where the rectifications had been occurred were localised areas. They could have been sections taken out, or blockwork taken out, whatever was required by the engineer to carry out the repairs, done, and then reinstated. It didn't necessitate a full, complete pull down of the whole building.
The Steeles maintain the more they demolished, the more problems they found. They estimate they've lost around $150,000, with little hope of restitution.
So you're forced to litigate to recover or to access your rights. It seems kind of ridiculous that these associations are saying you are covered as a consumer in X, Y and Z, but when you test the system, what you're not told initially is that you're going to have to spend money to chase your rights.
So again, the cost keeps on going. His idea of a brick pier.
It's been very difficult to watch my husband come home in the evenings and just be totally demoralised by what's happened. It's been a real strain on the family. Thank God for friends and family who have been very supportive, but the fact that it's been allowed to go on is what really we can't understand, and there's no one there that can help us.
Builder Brian King, the inspector and the surveyor will all appear before the Building Practitioners Board next month. The board must decide whether or not the trio was negligent during the construction of the Steeles home. It then has the power to take disciplinary action.
Short of a major obstacle, we will see a house on this block at some stage. When that is, we're not quite sure.